This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your hosts, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
Well, if you missed it in the ECHL this week, yes, during the week, not just the weekend full of games that we're going to talk about and everything like that, but a guy that happens to play in Toledo put on an absolute clinic for all of the ECHL to see in the All-Star Game. Oh my God, Brendan Hawkins, what the heck was that?
I think when I shared it, I forget if it was on Facebook or Twitter, I was like, I've run out of words to describe how unfair it is when he has the puck around him. Now, granted, I mean, the lacrosse goal, like the dude just stood there and let it happen, but because it is an all-star game, but still the skill level to pick the puck up on your backhand is just gross.
It's not even that goal. It was that pass.
That was
his first point in that game. What was he like? Where in someone's brain do they think I'm just going to do that and make it happen? It's unreal. Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Hockeytown West podcast, your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. And I'll apologize in advance if I sound different or if you're watching on YouTube, the camera quality sucks. I'm in a hotel on a work road trip, but hey, we find a way to get these shows done. It feels like it's been a minute since we've done a Toledo show with our schedule and me getting the flu and your schedule at work, sir. Like it's been chaotic, so we had to find a way to get one done. And here we are. So bear with us. Hopefully it sounds all right. Hopefully Travis's editing magic really shines in this one. I know the camera quality for me looks awful, but again, we just find a way.
Yeah, have to.
Exactly. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the All-Star Game happened in the ECHL, and yes, Hawk put on an absolute clinic. And going into this All-Star Game, like you obviously know, the first All-Star announcement came out, and it was Riley McCourt going to the All-Star Game, which was really cool for him. Hawk gets added to the roster, but then you see right before the game starts that Riley gets named captain of that team. What a cool thing for him.
Yeah, really cool thing for him. And then he did like that little pregame during warm-up, like little interview with somebody on the bench, so that was a neat little thing too. And he talked about how much fun he was having, how cool it was to be around all the guys. And it's a short break too, like it's only 2 days, and then you throw into the fact that the ECHL was playing games yesterday too, which makes it even more bizarre. There were regulation games while the All-Star Game was going on.
Yeah, dude. Like we don't ask questions when it comes to minor league All-Star games. We know it can be a crapshoot to get them pulled off. And I mean, you look at what it was last year, the year before, where the ECHL didn't even have the All-Star Game. They just had the Heritage Classic going for the Toledo Walleye and the Kalamazoo Wings.
Yeah, that was last year. They had the rosters were announced and then they didn't play the game, but
get named to a roster and not have to play. I wonder if some guys prefer that, because you look at some of the locations of All-Star games, they might not be a destination spot to go land. I mean, getting to go to Texas for these guys this year, at least it was warmer down there than it is up in Toledo, right? But you know, you look at some situations. I mean, we make the jokes all the time about the AHL All-Star game being in Rockford. Like, what an exciting destination to go to, right? But at the same time, it's to be named to the roster is cool enough in itself.
Yeah, and I think the last one that they went to was in Savannah. I think
Not a bad spot.
Yeah, Hawk went for that one, and I think it was an interview that he had done after that. You know, that was a really cool city, and he enjoyed going there. So at least they've dipped into some of the markets. That's really cool and exciting. I know Toledo had it, and I want to say it was 2019 that they hosted the All-Star Game.
That would have been sweet to have there in like our time of doing the show.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like they broke the walleye into 2 teams, fins and hooks, and then there was an East and a West, and then it was like a 3-on-3 tournament. And then they did the skills competition like they did last night, like throughout the whole event, which was cool. The one thing that I didn't like about it is like, how was Hawk not in the at least the accuracy shooting? Like,
yeah, I want to see that guy in accuracy shooting. I just want to know, like, can he do it in 4? Can he do it quick? Like, I have to see it, and I think Toledo needs to just set up their own little accuracy shooting competition amongst the team just so we can see it.
Or make him do it backhand.
Oh, there we go. That makes it fair for everybody else, at least. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, though, I mean, it was cool. Like you said, he had the crazy assist. He scores 3 goals. The lacrosse goal was just that was silly. I mean, superb skill. He's done it twice in games. He's done it like the regular Michigan style. He did that in a game in Toledo, and then he did like virtually what he did in the All-Star game. He did in Fort Wayne one year. He started like behind the net and he went all the way down and he just cut to the net and like picked it up and did the same thing off of his backhand. He's stupid.
Yeah, you pointed that out to me after I was like, "Good Lord, like what a goal!" And you're like, "He's done that in game," and then I had to like step back and be like, "Yeah, he has. You're right. Holy crap, this dude, unreal." But just a really cool event for both him and Riley to get to participate. I'm sure those two getting to go together. I'm sure they had a blast, and I'm sure Riley little brothered him the entire time they were there, and that's all you'd expect, and that's exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I reached out to Maddie, who was with the team last year. She's now with she's with the league now, so that was cool. I was like, make sure you give Hawk a little crap when you see him. She's from all of us.
Yeah, I hope she does. I hope she did. If not, hopefully I get to give him some crap this Friday when I'm in Toledo. I'm super excited to be back in T-Town. But other than the All-Star game, what other news do we have to talk about today?
Just some recent milestones that have been hit. Smirnoff hit 200 pro games. Darby Llewellyn hit 400. Keenan hit 300, and Hawk hit 400. And then Hawk also now is the all-time leader in power play points for the franchise of the Toledo Walleye. So that's pretty cool stuff. Which I will say I was corrected. Technically, the Walleye is a different franchise from the Storm. So as weird
Okay,
as
now we're splitting hairs here, but yeah,
well, I
it
mean,
is.
I was told that, so from a technicality standpoint, but just mainly milestones.
Moving on from that, we've got some games to talk about today, and Trav, I'm going to throw it to you to talk us through the first one here, because I didn't get a chance to watch any of these. Obviously, with my schedule, things have been pretty chaotic, and I haven't gotten the chance to fully dial in Toledo, so I'm going to let Trav take it away and just give my points where I think I should.
Yeah, so out in Iowa for 2, obviously we'll go through them in order, but the first game, I mean, they come out of it, they find a way to win the game, right? And probably the biggest takeaways is that they stuck with it. Um, they were up 2 and kind of lost the lead, but again, they find the way. They're led by Hawk, right? 2 goals. I mean, it's just like he seemingly just tears that team apart. A couple weeks ago, he had, I think it was 2 or he might have even been 3 in the one game. I don't know. Every night it seems like he's just filling the score sheet at this rate. Um, he's gone kind of nuclear this since December started. He's just found another gear, which doesn't seem possible, but yet he does. And then Tanner Dickinson with 3 assists in this game. And like, he's just starting to really find his way. All right. Like he's played, you know, all over the lineup, top line, second line, rotating partners, rotating wingers. I still think at times they're still trying to figure out where to play guys. Like the lineup's
Yeah,
forever
right?
changing, but they're getting contributions from like their big guys, and that's what they've needed.
Yeah, you love to see those contributions, and like you said, Hawk finding another gear. Like, how is that possible? But at the same time, the clinic he's kind of just been putting on since December is unreal, and it doesn't even surprise me anymore when I see the updates come through when, I'm at a Griffins game or whatever, and I'm just catching the Walleye game via notifications essentially, and you're like, oh, yep, there he goes again. Oh, somebody else scored, but up there he is on the assist. All right, like it's
Yeah.
just unreal, man. I don't have words for him anymore. Sorry. Like I'm gonna really have to dig deep here and find something something else to say about him other than what we say. But it's just been unreal, and it's great to see for the team. And Dickinson kind of popping off like that too is a real positive to see. Just the continued depth of this team continue to produce.
It's got to be super cool for him too, being from Perrysburg, right? Like that's his hometown team. Has to be a really unique experience for him playing in front of friends and family. Obviously, these games were on the road, but just when they are at home, for him to play in front of so many familiar faces. One thing that was like a downer in this game is Moulton got hurt in the first period. Wasn't like a dirty play. I think he was already going down, and a guy I don't think meant to hit him where he hit him. It was just like an unfortunate play. Didn't return to the game, and I don't believe he played either game Saturday or Sunday. So hopefully not a long-term injury that'll keep him out of the lineup long.
Yeah, we can't have Grand Rapids get healthy and you guys get bit by the injury bug. That's not how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, that was probably the one downfall. I will say in his defense, Sawyer, he came and he got into a scrap with the guys. So good to see the teammates stepping up for each other. I know it's something that the fans have always like wanted to see more of, is more violence, and they got a little bit of violence. So the fans were probably loving that if they were watching on TV, or if any of them, could find a ticket in Iowa. I heard they're hard to find. All kidding aside.
Jeez, man. Just dragging Iowa like that. Yeah,
Well,
it's not a hard ticket to find. Come on.
Dude, I'm pretty sure you could like give away tickets to half the town and there'd still be empty seats, but they just don't draw.
I think it goes along with that meme where it's like, I've left 2 tickets to this game in my car and someone broke in and left 2 more. Like,
yeah.
Is that kind of what happens in Iowa?
Yeah.
It checks out when you're looking at it on TV. Sorry, Iowa fans that definitely tune into this show weekly.
Right. No, you wish they had more of a support system there. But I mean, like I said, for Toledo just to get a win out there, it's tough, right? They're leading the division right now. They're going to get everybody's best shot, and they've played Iowa so much over the last couple weeks that like there's got to be some hatred between those two teams. So that doesn't really help things. Wah got another goal in this game. He's starting to find it offensively a little bit. That's a key thing. And then
still want to keep calling him Roy.
I know, especially after the start of the year. And then the goal that really was like, wow, was Jordan Ernst's goal. Just a great shot, far side, picked a corner. That's a guy for me that some nights in deployment, some nights it's just like, how's he playing this low in the lineup? Because like when he gets opportunity up in the lineup, he plays so well, and he was such a predominant guy last year in the league that he played in, and scoring goals and putting up points that I just want to see maybe a little bit more of an opportunity for him at points. Obviously, it's no discredit to anybody that's playing up in the lineup. It's they're a deep team that guys are going to have to play down in the lineup, up in the lineup. Guys are in, guys are out. But I like his motor. I like his offensive upside. Obviously, there's been points in the year he's played in the first line, he's played on the fourth line. He's kind of another one of those guys that he can play anywhere through the lineup. So that's one thing for me that stuck out. It's like you see that pop and it's like, man, maybe an expanded role be just to see.
Yeah, you kind of wonder what it would look like. But obviously, like when things are going well, you don't want to change things too, right? But we head into the next game and things don't go so well.
Well, the start was good. I mean, the last show I talked about them learning to lock it down, and well, they didn't really lock it down this weekend. They got the lead and they couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, it's something we're not used to seeing, right?
Yeah, they got up twice, and I don't know if this is like a new version of Patrick Wall coaching here in Iowa, but like both games he started a guy and then flipped them for the second period. So like I don't know if it's some new strategy that you start a goaltender and then change them no matter what the outcome is in the second period, but it almost worked both games for him. I think it's really bizarre, but yeah, like you said, they lost the second game, but some of it was they just couldn't score, and then like the shootouts, they haven't won one this year. They seemingly just struggled in them, which is crazy because there's so much skill, right? Like high-end skill that you'd think it'd be a little bit easier for them with some of the talent.
Does it go back to like it's a younger team? It's a younger team in this league, and shootouts, you can only practice so much, right? In game is different, and maybe it's just these guys not used to being in that situation in this league, which, luckily shootouts don't exist in the playoffs, so they're kind of irrelevant at that point. But at the same time, maybe it goes back to that.
Yeah, and just the extra frame as a whole, they've struggled in all year. And last year they struggled in overtime as well. But like, it's weird. They play 5-on-5. They play so well. I don't know what it is that they don't seemingly get it they don't get that extra point as much with as much skill as they have. Which again, some of it's like interesting deployment. Like you look at it and you're like, wouldn't pair those two together maybe in this situation, but again, that we're not the coaches, so it's just fun to think and discuss.
when you think about it, and it goes back to that point I was just saying, like, these aren't in-game situations you can see in real life every night. They don't happen every night.
Right.
So until it happens a bunch of times, like, yeah, you're kind of guessing and throwing guys out there and hoping it works. Like, again, you can only practice it so much. Real game is so much different, especially in overtime. And I think it kind of does go back to that. It's just learning the process, and hopefully you just play well enough through the first 3 periods, you don't have to worry about those extra frames.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I know it's really early, but like you get into the playoffs and it's all 5-on-5, which I think benefits this team more. For some reason, they seemingly just are better the last year, even last year, and now this year. When it goes to 4-on-4, 3-on-3, or to the shootout, they haven't been as great in the extra time. So,
Maybe they should just go shorthanded in overtime and they'd score.
yeah. Just give them an extra guy, take the penalty.
Yeah, why not?
It's worked. They've scored a lot of shorthanded goals, but I will say their penalty kill on the road percentage wise hasn't been very good, but they had a good weekend there. So that's
Well,
a
it's like the Griffins
positive.
playoff at home, or playoff. It's like the Griffins power play at home.
Yeah. So I mean that's a positive to take away. The other thing from the Saturday game is just Drusic's play as a whole. I mean,
Yeah, let's talk about him.
yeah, you got to give the guy some flowers, right? He's come in here, seemingly out of nowhere and has carved out a pretty important role enough to where they're rotating 3 goaltenders now. Like every third game you're starting. Which great find, right? You have a .954 save percentage and a 1.46 goals against average that you find in December they found him?
Yeah, and he hadn't played since March. Yeah.
Crazy stuff. And, again, still a relatively small sample size, right? Only 4 games. Nolan's played 14, Carter's played 13, but in those 4 games, he's looked unbelievable. Get this guy some
Yeah.
goal support. You're gonna win a lot of hockey games. And that's no discredit to what, Nolan or Carter's done. They've both been great too, but it's just the fact that they find a guy in the middle of the first half of the season that hasn't played in a game since March, and he's come in here and he's played really, really well. He's I believe 3-0-1 now in his 4 starts. Hasn't lost in
Yeah.
regulation. So credit to the staff for finding this. And I mean, look, they had to prepare for this because with what was going on in GR, the potential of Cossa going to Detroit, you don't know what's going on with Cleveland. Like, you have 2 goaltenders in-house that could be recalled at any given moment, and you potentially may have found a starting goaltender, like a legit starter, off the couch. Like, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's very rare at this point in the season to find something like that can also perform. Like, he's been fantastic, and I'm really just excited to see, like, the continued growth from him this season, to see, like, what's a few months of results look like. I think that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, like, you always root for guys to get a call up if they're going to play, right? And like for right now, you get 3 days, you get 3 games, which is nice for Toledo because this month has been 3-3s, and it's a 3-day rotation. You don't have a goalie tired; you have a fresh one going every night. So I mean, as long as they can, the cap allows them to, and the roster allows them to do this, why not? So good.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, though, every other game has worked for Pat the first 2 years he's been here. So it's just, now it's okay, well, we'll go every 3 games.
Exactly. No, it's good stuff from him, and I'm really just happy to see it working out here for him because, again, there was just so much unknown going into it. So it's nice to see Toledo's kind of developed a little 3-headed monster, as we talked about the 2-headed monster in Grand Rapids. It's nice to have that, especially with those 3-3s. Those 3-3s are killer. So it's nice that a fresh guy can go every night. And you just got to get the same results from the guys in front of him every night, and that's tougher because they're going 3 in a row. So it's a tough ask.
Very.
But outside of that, we'll head to do a quick ad break. When we come back, we got a game against the Bison to talk about, our 3 stars of the week, and a standings update across the ECHL.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey, hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 4676369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-78-9777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
And welcome back. All right, so we got one more game to talk about between the Walleye and the Bison. And, last season when I'd go into a game against the Bison, I was like, this is going to be probably a pretty fun game to talk about. This one, not so much, man. Bloomington has really turned it around this season for being just the second year of their existence. And, currently after this weekend, sitting third in the division, which I think has shocked a lot of people. But the result of this game, I think, was even more shocking to me.
I mean, the result doesn't show how the game went at all. Toledo
That's good, because when I saw the result, I was like, oh, no.
No, Toledo carried the play. They outshot them 36-24. They had 18 shots in the second period. They just couldn't finish. That's probably the biggest thing is they couldn't finish. And, you look at the goals that Bloomington scored. The first one went off of Truscott and in there, or off of, I think it was Truscott. Hit a defenseman right in front. Bad bounce, goes in your own net. And then the second one, I was watching something on the TV and I had the game going on my phone. So I was listening and watching and doing multiple things at one time while this game was on. Sounded very controversial that a Walleye guy put his glove on the puck in the crease as a penalty shot. But then it sounded like he just hit the puck to the goalie, was covered in the crease. It was a whole debacle. They ended up scoring on the penalty shot, and then they got another one in the third period. So ideally, if you think about it, if that call goes Toledo's way, you get a puck not go in off your defenseman, it's 0-0 going into the third period. So I didn't think they played that bad. So the result sucks, yeah, but when you outshoot a team 36-24, carry the play the way they did, they're gonna take a lot of good out of that. And I mean, there's always some bad, but
yeah.
All in all, it wasn't they had 10 shots on goal and they got beat 3-0 and gave up 40 shots. It's not like they were outplayed drastically. They just couldn't finish.
I mean, that's every team's gonna have those days.
Yeah,
there's really not much more to say to that. Every team's gonna go through it.
Absolutely. I've always said, teams are going to have 5 clunkers a year and 5 that you could probably win 9 times out of 10. It's just kind of how.
Well, what do you say to the teams in last place that have way more than that?
Well, your good teams normally have some games, 3 to 5 of them where they're awful. They don't have it that night. They're not there. And then there's the nights where you the first game, I want to say it was against Iowa, gave up 12 shots and lost 2-1. You're going to have nights like that. They happen, right? And it's a long season. It's 72 games. They're still in first place. The season's is not over. So it's they're in a little bit of a run. They went on that run, right? Where they won 10 in a row or 12 in a row, whatever it was. And then they've been about 500 for the last 2 weekends now. It's going to happen as long as you don't go from 10 wins to 10 losses and you can, go 10 in a row and then maybe 500 for a couple of weeks and maybe you win 3 in a row. And then, you can't have a lot of this. You got to have just the waves and find that consistency.
Yeah. Games like this that have this result where you can be you play like that. Most nights you're going to win those games and you don't win this game. Games like that, it's not about the end result. It's how do you respond? What's the next game look like? That's the most important thing. And knowing this team, you can expect a spirited response as usual. Probably another Hawk 4-goal night or something like that. I don't know. I just got to apparently text you what's going to happen beforehand, and it happens. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. And I know when's their next game? Is it this week or is it this Friday?
It's Friday. Yep. Friday night.
Yeah, so I'm in the building, so that's a guaranteed Hawk point most of the time. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, with this game, you kind of just want to brush it away, and I don't really have much more to add to it other than it happened,
Yeah,
and you
wasn't
can't be
their
down
day.
about it, and you move on.
Yeah, well, it just wasn't their day, and like you said, they'll be ready to play Friday night.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Who are the Toledo Walleye 3 stars of the week, Travis? Who did you pick this week? Because I have zero fair input here, so I can just smile and nod.
So third star, I gave it to Jed Pietolo at 2 points in 3 games, and I think he's really come on this last 3-4 weeks, especially offensively. He scored a few goals the last few weeks, so he's and he's played pretty good defensively too. So it's a guy that we don't always talk a ton about, but can provide, steady play. Just glad to, get his name out there, give him some flowers because he's had a pretty good season as a whole. Secondly, I went with Dickinson. Just the Friday game alone gets him a nod, like 3 assists in that Friday game. And then, I mean, who else can you pick but Hawk? He had 3 goals and an assist and 4 points in 3 games. I'm telling you,
He had
with
3 goals in the All-Star game.
and yeah, the
Not a big
All-Star
deal.
game performance might have skewed it a little bit.
Not a big deal.
I can say that his graphic is not as funny as the last one was with all the hats from the
Aw.
4-goal game. But I'm running out of pictures.
Yeah, right. That's the toughest part when a guy wins the first Star of the Week award from us so often is finding enough pictures to go through. And trust me, I'm running into that with Leonard too. It's getting difficult.
You sit here in January, right? And January 20th, they were recorded, and it's like both teams are going to have an MVP candidate that we cover. Like Leonard's going to be a candidate for the American League, and then Hawks, he's starting to kind of separate himself a little bit
Dude, if
here.
he goes back to back to back, oh my God.
Well, he's got 49 points in 34 games, and he's got 21 goals already.
Like you obviously, like being Toledo fans, we don't have this feeling, but you look in like the ECHL fandom sphere, and some people don't like him because he's so good, and people will, you'll see comments, what a fraud or da da da, and then he just goes out there and puts on a freaking show. Like obviously those are just haters and trolls out there, but if he goes back to back to back, it's gonna be ridiculous, and I'm here for it. Now I want that to happen.
If he goes back to back to back, they have to retire his number. Like
Build the statue.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very well within the possibility here.
Oh yeah.
He's just such a dominant player at this level. Like it like you said, you run out of so many words to describe it, but like you watch the games where like he just takes the game over. Like there's games where like it's what McDavid does in the NHL some nights, or McKinnon does. Like the top players in the NHL, they just take a game over. You literally can watch it on television. You're like, man, that's like the best, player in the league doing that. And then like it's so unique too, like because with Hawk, it's completely different, right? You think of McDavid, you think of like blazing speed, right? Like fastest player in the world doing that. Nathan McKinnon's probably right there with him as far as foot speed. Hawk's hockey IQ and just ability with the puck, like his hand-eye coordination, like it's a different level of, it's a different kind of skill, but he's so good with what he has in his toolbox that like it just doesn't, some nights it doesn't make sense, but then like you get used to watching it. And this is where you feel bad for like the ECHL too, because like not everybody gets to see him play. But like that's where like unless you watch the All-Star game, you don't really know how like like teams like Allen or Kansas City's seen in the last couple of years in the playoffs, but like Tulsa or like the Iceman and like Jacksonville reading like the Railers, yeah, like all these places, like they're seeing it and they're looking at it probably on their phones in a stat sheet, and they're like, really, like he just dominates, but then like they don't get to see it firsthand. That's what sucks about not playing everybody.
I mean, I remember the first year before we even knew you covering this team when Cossa was there, and we'd be talking about, we wouldn't know. We didn't get to watch the games. Like it wasn't available to us at that time. We didn't have Flow. We only had the AHL TV back then. We weren't paying for 2. And we'd just be reading these stat sheets and looking at the bare minimum highlights that were out there and be like, yep, there's this Hawkins guy at it again. Like Toledo people listening to us in the first season were like, you guys don't even know. Like you're talking about, I mean, you have no idea. And I'll never forget, like, it's the first few times watching this team live. And when that man gets the puck on his stick, you could just kind of hold your breath and wait for something cool to happen. It was just almost a guarantee that something special was going to happen, whether it be just a nice pass or a cool move or a sick shot. And you're just like, yep, this dude's the real deal.
Well, and it's like his ability to play with anybody. Like he's played with
It's
Hensick.
insane.
He's played with, you know, you look at it, some of the guys he's played with throughout, you know, his years here. Like he was with Henny for a little while. He's played with Craggs this year. He's played with Dickinson this year. He's played with Ernst. He's played with Waugh. Like he's, you know, yeah, I'm sure he'll play with Louis at some point this year. He has a little bit. So it's like the ability, because like sometimes, and you've seen it with McDavid too. Look at how long it's taken Edmonton to find guys to ride shotgun with, you know, like a superstar talent like that. Like sometimes it's hard, but Hawk, you know, like he talks about all the time about how, you know, his success is a credit to the team, and his ability to play with anybody in the lineup, I think shows like that's a special talent. So
Yeah, it is.
you know, he's dominated the first star of the week category, but he's dominated this league for, you know, 4 or 5 years. I mean, I remember his first year here, like went to the preseason game and I didn't know who he was. Like I was just a fan in the stands at that point. And like, this is when they wore their practice jerseys. So like you didn't know nameplates, numbers weren't even correct on some of the guys. So you're like, but like they got a power play and like you could see that like the puck was going through him. So it's like, okay, well, like he's clearly going to be the guy that they feed the puck to. And then he got hurt and he didn't see him until Winterfest. And that year, you know, like, so he gets hurt, misses from October to basically Christmas, day after Christmas. And he scored, I believe it was 34 or 36 goals that year. And he missed the first 3 months.
Insane.
Like, it's silly.
Yeah, if you didn't know who he was then, you knew real quick.
Oh, yeah. After that first year, I think everybody like was like, okay, time to take note of who this guy is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we're very fortunate to have the relationship we have with him. But he's like that with so many people in the community too. That's where like, you know, with him getting the C this year, like you can see it. Like he makes time for every kid, makes time for just even regular fans, people our age, people like our parents' age, grandparents' age. Like he has time. He makes time for almost everybody. That's a credit to him too. And that just goes back to like hockey players. They're the most like approachable athlete. I know we've said that before,
100%.
but like you see it firsthand. Everybody on the team is like that. It just goes back to the culture they've built.
Yeah, it really does. All right, enough gushing about that guy. Maybe I've said kind enough words to him to where he'll actually speak to me on Friday. We'll see.
You are still suspended.
I am still suspended.
With no appeal.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. All right, quick standings update so we can wrap this show up here. When you go to the Central Division, you got Toledo on top there with 47 points. Fort Wayne behind them at 44. It's nice to see a little bit of separation from Fort Wayne and a game in hand still on Fort Wayne. You got Bloomington in third, Indy in fourth, Cincy in fifth, Kalamazoo in sixth, and Iowa in seventh, and that makes up your Central Division. You go to the Mountain Division, you got Kansas City, Idaho, Tahoe, Allen, Rapid City, Wichita, Utah, and Tulsa. You head over to the Eastern Conference here, and we'll head to the South Division. You got Florida leading that division. I'm sure no one's excited to see that. No one wants to see them back up there.
Yeah.
South Carolina in second, Atlanta in third, Savannah in fourth. Orlando has climbed up to fifth.
Yeah.
What a turnaround there. If you remember the early parts of the season episodes, I was just dogging those guys left and right for how bad they were playing.
Math
it's good to see them kind of
good,
bounce
though.
back in there.
Their math is not good.
It's not, but
they're 4 games ahead of almost everybody in that division that's in the bottom 4. So their math is still not very good.
And only a 1-point lead over 6th and 7th. So yeah, but on paper right now, as we're recording this on the 20th, they are in 5th. You got Jacksonville and Greenville rounding out the rest of that division. Then we head over to the North Division, Wheeling still being a powerhouse over there, even though they're 6-4 in their past 10 and they've kind of been picked apart, still first in that division. You got Reading in second, Adirondack in third, Maine in fourth, the Railers in fifth, Trois-Rivières in sixth, Norfolk and Greensboro make up the rest of that division. So that's how it stands right now. Nothing too crazy. It's not really time to standings watch just yet. But I know we've got 3 games coming up for the Walleye this week. Obviously, Friday, as we've mentioned several times, and I'm so stoked to be back in the building this Friday. Then we have Saturday in Kalamazoo. Then where do we play on Sunday?
Back home.
There we go.
Back home. Yep.
A home, away, and home weekend. It's
in a 3-3, it just doesn't make sense. That's where I wish they figure this out a little bit. Put the away game either first or last. Like, don't put it in the middle. One thing I
won't
wanted
say
to,
that for this week because it works out well for me, so I'll take it.
Right. I will say one thing with the standings at North Division. Like, you look at that division. I know they've got games in hand on the Railers, but the Lions are in 6th place right now, and they won the cup last year. So just shows that year to year, sustainable success can be very difficult in this league. So I know they lost a lot of guys, especially a very important piece in net. He's actually still in the division. I don't know if he's with Providence or with Maine right now, but either way, it's a very interesting thing. And boy, I'll tell you what, if the Railers get in, that's almost my dream matchup in the finals would be either Wheeling in Toledo or the Railers in Toledo.
You just want to talk about the Railers every week. That's what you want.
It's such a great name, man.
It is. Travis just wants to start a Railers podcast now.
No,
There's so many names that you could do with that would get us so in trouble.
It's great, Brandon. And the fact that they always like dip into it just enough that it's hilarious. So I just find their stuff.
They ride that line of inappropriate and hilarious very, very well.
They do a very good job of riding that line.
Oh, it's good stuff. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap this one up because I'm sick of holding a microphone. I'm not going to lie. And I don't even know how this episode's going to sound. So hopefully it sounded good to y'all. Hopefully you can appreciate it and enjoy it. So I'm glad we can get a Toledo episode out to all you wonderful fans. Looking forward again to seeing you guys on Friday. Before we wrap this episode up, we'll thank the sponsors of the show. Of course, DraftKings and Everything Hockey Clothing Company. When you're betting with DraftKings, use code THPN. And when you're shopping at everythinghockey.com, use code WEST to save a few bucks off your order. We got to thank our friends over at Patreon as well. All the lovely followers over there at patreon.com/Hockeytown West podcast. I don't have the list in front of me because I don't have the login on this laptop. So I'm sorry. I'm not going to name you all individually, but you know who you are. We mention you every week. I apologize for missing a week. Don't worry. We'll make it up to you guys with some Patreon content here coming soon. But with that, that's all we got. Everybody have a fantastic week. Have a safe week if you're out traveling through all this snow. I know Ohio is about to get some snow. I know Michigan, it seems like it's just never ending at this point. So please be safe if you're out traveling. And until we talk again, as always, go Griffins, go Walleye, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your hosts, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey, and Travis at Trav in T-Town.